wondered why your kids just won't listen to you, even when you're making perfect sense? Let's face it, parenting can sometimes feel like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube in the dark. One moment, you're on cloud 9, marveling at your child's accomplishments. The next, you're wondering why they insist on drawing on the walls with permanent markers, despite your repeated requests not to. Welcome to the roller coaster that is parenting, a journey filled with joys, hurdles, and plenty of head-scratching moments. In this video, we're going to delve into the common challenges that parents face when dealing with kids. We'll explore the labyrinth of child psychology, offer practical tips to tackle these challenges, and even identify some common mistakes parents make. Our aim? To help you navigate the complexities of parenting with a bit more ease and a lot more confidence. If this sounds familiar, then stick around, because we've got some practical advice coming your way. To effectively communicate with your kids, first, you need to understand how their minds work. Children's minds are not miniature versions of an adult's. They have their own unique way of perceiving the world around them. A child's mind is like a sponge, constantly absorbing information, trying to make sense of their surroundings. They are inquisitive by nature, always asking questions, trying to understand why and how. Their perception of the world is often more literal than abstract. For instance, if you tell a child, "You've grown a foot," they might actually look down to check if an extra foot has sprouted. It's these literal interpretations that make their world magical, filled with wonder and excitement. Children also process information differently from adults. They rely more on their senses and concrete experiences rather than abstract thoughts. That's why hands-on learning is so effective for them. They touch, taste, smell, hear, and see to understand their environment. So, when you're explaining something to them, remember to use tangible examples. Now, let's talk about emotions. Emotions play a significant role in a child's behavior. They are still learning to manage their feelings and often act out when they are overwhelmed. It's essential to remember that their emotional outbursts are not a reflection of bad behavior, but a cry for help in managing their emotions. So how can you help them? Empathy is key. Validate their feelings, even if they seem trivial to you. Let them know it's okay to feel the way they do. This validation not only helps them understand their emotions, but also builds trust and strengthens your bond with them. In essence, understanding child psychology is about recognizing the differences between a child's and an adult's perspective. It's about acknowledging that their world is filled with curiosity, sensory experiences, and emotional learning. Understanding your child's mindset is the first step in improving your communication with them. By stepping into their shoes, you can see the world from their eyes, making it easier to guide them and facilitate their growth. And remember, every child is unique, so what works for one might not work for another. Be patient, be understanding, and most importantly, be present. Now that we have a basic understanding of child psychology, let's move on to some practical tips for dealing with kids. Parenting is an art, and like any art form, it requires a certain level of skill. One of the most important skills to master is the art of communication. When we talk about communication, we're not just talking about speaking. We're talking about listening, observing, and understanding. So the first tip is to use simple and clear language. Children, especially younger ones, may not fully understand complex phrases or abstract ideas. For instance, instead of saying, "I want you to behave appropriately in the supermarket," you could say, "Please hold my hand and stay close to me in the supermarket." This way, you're giving kids a clear and simple instruction they can understand and follow. Another tip is to be consistent with rules. Consistency is key in helping kids understand what is expected of them. If you allow them to skip brushing their teeth one night because they're tired, but scold them for doing the same thing the next night, you're sending mixed messages. So make sure you're consistent with the rules you've set. Now, let's talk about choices. Giving children choices empowers them and helps them develop decision-making skills. But remember, the choices should be age-appropriate and reasonable. For instance, you could ask a younger child if they want to wear the red shirt or the blue one. For older kids, you could ask them if they'd rather do their homework now or after dinner. Moving on, praising good behavior is another effective strategy. Children love to be acknowledged and rewarded for their efforts. When they do something good, let them know you're proud of them. This could be as simple as saying, "You did a great job cleaning your room," or "I'm proud of you for sharing your toys with your sister." Last but not least, listen to their concerns. This might seem obvious, but it's easy to overlook. As adults, we often underestimate the magnitude of children's problems because we compare them to our own. But remember, for them, these problems are just as real and just as big. So, take the time to listen to what they have to say. Let them express their feelings without interruption. Show empathy and offer help when needed. These tips may seem simple, but they can make a significant difference in your relationship with your child. They promote healthy communication, mutual respect, and understanding. And remember, it's okay if you don't get it right all the time. Parenting is a journey filled with highs and lows, successes and failures. What matters most is that you're there for your child, you're trying your best, and you're willing to learn and grow. Remember, these tips are not one-size-fits-all solutions, but they can provide a solid foundation for better communication with your kids. While we're on the subject, let's discuss some common mistakes that parents often make. Firstly, one mistake parents frequently make is failing to set clear boundaries. As much as we love our little ones, it's vital to remember that they are still learning about the world and what's acceptable behavior. By not setting clear boundaries, we may unintentionally create confusion and uncertainty, which can lead to behavioral issues down the line. Another common pitfall is overreacting to bad behavior. It's easy to let emotions take the driver's seat when our children misbehave. However, responding with heightened emotion can escalate the situation rather than diffuse it. It's crucial to remain calm, composed, and consistent in these moments. Remember, our children look to us to learn how to handle conflict and frustration. Thirdly, not giving children enough attention is a classic error. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life and forget to carve out quality time for our kids. But remember, attention is the currency of love in a child's world. They crave our presence more than presence. And last but not least, not leading by example is a common oversight. As parents, we are our children's first and most influential teachers. They mimic our behaviors, attitudes, and habits. Therefore, it's essential to set a positive example. If we want our kids to be kind, patient, and respectful, we must demonstrate these qualities ourselves. In conclusion, parenting is a journey filled with triumphs and challenges. We all make mistakes along the way, but it's through these mistakes that we learn and grow. By setting clear boundaries, responding calmly to bad behavior, giving our kids the attention they need, and leading by example, we can steer clear of these common parenting pitfalls. Avoiding these mistakes can significantly improve your relationship with your kids. Remember, the goal isn't to be perfect parents, but to be better parents each day. Let's quickly recap what we've learned today. We started by acknowledging the challenges of parenting, a complex task that never comes with a manual. We then dove into the fascinating world of child psychology, exploring how understanding a child's mind can help us communicate better, respond effectively to their needs, and ultimately foster a strong parent-child relationship. We then shared some practical tips for dealing with kids. We talked about the importance of setting boundaries, showing empathy, and teaching them the value of respect and responsibility. These strategies not only help in managing day-to-day situations, but also contribute to their overall development. We also highlighted some common mistakes parents often make, like inconsistent discipline or setting unrealistic expectations. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes as long as we are willing to learn and improve. Remember, parenting is a journey, not a destination. Keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep loving your kids. Thanks for watching.